name is Mabanga Wilfred Erima, Member of Parliament representing Terego East, that is in the West Nile sub-region. Thank you.
Good morning, members. My name is Atuberire Asa Kazora, Member of Parliamentary in the South, Medoma District, and Kore region.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Mutiowe Abed Nasa. I represent Figa Municipality. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sumaya Nalawanuka. I represent the people of Mubende Municipality, and I am the Shadow Minister for Lands.
Let's have our technical people on our side introduce yourselves quickly.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Emmanuel Nisima. I'm the clerk to the committee.
Good morning, members. I'm Taiwa Didas Kabumbuza, Member of Parliament representing Kuch County, Rakai District.
Good morning, members. This is Nawaduka Aneti, Akiki Narongo, a civil engineer by profession, woman member of Parliament, Chiwale District, a member in the Lands Committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Magus Julius. I'm a clerk of the service committee.
Thank you, Chair. Members Apollo, Study Officer, attached to the committee.
Chair, my name is Yakonga Shafiq, economist.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Angel, intern attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Tassia.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Emmanuel Chibika, IC Officer.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Thank you, Chair. My name is Badal Bodra.
Anyone left on my side? Okay, thank you very much. At this hour, I would like to invite our stakeholders to introduce themselves to us.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. Judith Nabakova Naule, District Woman MP Mitiana, and Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development.
Margaret Muhanga, MP for Poto North Division and Minister of State for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, specifically in charge of urban development. Thank you, Chair.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Mugunga Emmanuel Feli. I'm the Undersecretary and Accounting Officer of the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members. David Wamai is my name, Assistant Commissioner, Finance and Planning.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Paddy Joseph Walter. I'm the Commissioner in charge of urban development in the Ministry. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. Protocol observed. Gilbert Kermondo is my name. I'm the Chief Government Valuer Commissioner Evaluation. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. Kaganz Emmanuel is my name, Commissioner, Land Use Regulation and Compliance in the Ministry.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members. My name is Joseph Sembatia. I'm the Commissioner at Land Inspectorate and Reform.
Good morning, honorable Chair and members. My name is Harriet Rose Atila, the Assistant Commissioner in Human Resources.
Good morning, honorable Chair. Wilson Carver is my name, Assistant Commissioner, Land Reforms. Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Dr. Wilson from Survey the Good morning, Chair and Honorable Ronald Diaranga, Assistant Commissioner, Land Commission. Good morning, Chair. My name is Dennis Assistant Commissioner. Good morning, Chair, honorable members. Beckham Gaina, Commissioner Land Administration.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members. Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Sarah Kuranga, Assistant
I think we have exhausted the ministry side. We shall go to our agenda number 3. The Honorable Minister, one of the most humble ones I know. The Honorable Minister of State, Honorable Margaret Mohanga, who is also like a mother. The honorable colleagues, our technical people on both sides, good morning once again. Allow me first of all congratulate our colleagues who are now appointed as ministers. Congratulations. I have not had the opportunity to meet you after the appointment, but many of us were excited for your appointment, having seen you serve the previous 5 years. And the same congratulations go to Honorable Margaret. You did well in the health department, and this was a well-deserved appointment. Congratulations. I also want to congratulate the honorable colleagues who were designated on this committee, and I really want to thank you for the commitment you have for this sector. I cannot take it for granted. Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, you're going to find this committee very unique. The honorable members you see here come from all shades of professions. We have engineers here, we have planners here, we have business-oriented people, we have people who are highly qualified in development planning. I want to say that this committee is a very big resource. It will be up to you to utilize it. It will be up to you to utilize us so that we can support your sector. I also want to state this as we start. We would love, as a committee, to work with you in a collaborative manner, rather than the one that is interested in fault finding, but one that is interested in supporting the sector. However, I also want to mention that where we see wrong, we shall not hesitate to assert. But our intentions are to work collaboratively with you to support this sector. This sector, Honorable Minister, I was looking through, is very central to the development of this country. Actually, it forms the backbone of the development of this country. And yet, it appears to be one of the most neglected over years. Your allocation amounts to only 0.35% of the national budget. We have been receiving reports donors are pulling out. We have so many conflicts on land, of course coupled with forest shopping, which is becoming a trend in the country. The other day, we had a very good initiative of a National Cleaning Day, and after the exercise, garbage was heaped along roads for almost, I think some heaps are still existent up to now. We have a deficit of housing in this country. It is no longer elitism to talk about housing deficit in Uganda. No, it's an eminent problem that we are living with. Only 15% of our country is planned. The rest of Uganda is growing as a grand slum. And so many issues, as you'll find with these honorable members rising. So many issues in the sector. And these are for us to address as leaders. Now, colleagues, honorable members, I know today, Honorable Minister, we didn't start on a good note. You just found here when tempers were beginning to flare. As you might have noted, there is a new communication that standing committees will be sitting on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then sectoral committees will sit onwards. And yet these honorable members sacrifice their attendance in standing committees where they have matters of interest to just be here and listen to issues. And we happen to start 1 hour and minutes late. So when you were out, before you came in, we had agreed that the next time it happens and we are 40 minutes or 50 minutes late to commence a meeting, we forego that. We adjourn and focus on other issues. However, I don't want our first date to begin on a very sad note. Nevertheless, I want to welcome you, Honorable Minister. I want to welcome you, our technical people. I want to ask you to feel at home. I want you to look at us not as people who are interested in finding faults, but as people who are interested in supporting this sector. In us, you will find a very good, solid team, interested in your issues and interested in supporting you. So I don't want to take much more time. To allow me end here, and thank you for coming. This is our first interaction. Honorable colleagues, these are going to be our friends, our partners in the coming 1 year. I want to implore you, to request you to be interested in the sector, to observe as much as possible, and to speak openly about any challenges you take note. Allow me end here, and thank you very much for coming. allow me at this time invite the Minister to make a statement, but also tell us what they prepared for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Vice Chair, and members, and our Shadow Minister of Lands. I'll begin by apologizing for coming late. We were caught up in an earlier meeting with these ministers, so we are sorry for that. Next time we'll try to improve. Allow me to congratulate you and the members for having won elections and also for being part of this important meeting. We thank Parliament for establishing this committee because it is handling lands, housing and fiscal planning. To us, it is an important committee, it is a strategic committee, and it shows the attachment and also the commitment Parliament has in the sector. We will begin with giving a preamble. Then after my preamble, I'll ask the Undersecretary to take us through the presentation which we prepared. I thank the Chair that she was with us on the Land Committee, I think, last tenure. So he has that institutional memory of what we have been doing. He has talked about a number of things. Of course, we've had some achievements, but we also have some challenges. And we believe that working with you as our committee, we will be in position to address most of the committees. You have talked about the funding. If we are at 0.53%, meaning that a lot has to be done. And we believe that working with you, we can raise maybe up to 1% or 2%, depending on how far we can go. Because when we look at land tenure security, we have only 30% of our land, which is titled. The rest of the country is not yet titled, yet we are seeing challenges on ground. People are facing challenges on ground, and for us, we believe that the only way to make our land safe, secure, is by titling it. And titling land needs funds. I've already started getting members of Parliament asking for slack, but I want to inform you formally that slack ended in December, and we are just now concluding the titles that we had not dispatched by that time. We are in preparations to see if government or we can get a partner who can support us to roll out a program which is similar to slack. Then another thing we are looking at is fiscal planning. We are talking about 15% of the country being planned. How about the rest of the country? And we are still grappling with the law. You remember last Parliament, we transferred the entire fiscal planning function to NPA. And His Excellency agreed that we go back to Cabinet and see how it can be brought back to lands, because we look at fiscal planning as land use, basically land use, and we believe that if it is housed in the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, then it will be placed in the right place to be in position to guide on land use the entire country. We are also looking at what you have talked about, the housing deficit, the 2.4 housing deficit. The slums, we have about 160 slums, the entire country, 64 in Kampala. We are looking at innovative ways of how we can upgrade those slums, either using government or using partners, but we are looking at strategies of how can these slums be redeveloped to accommodate more people, but with better infrastructure and services, extended by putting up what we call low-cost houses or what we call affordable houses. We have Uganda Land Commission that is handling land for absentee landlords. They have deficit money in areas which hasn't been cleared by government, and yet we keep on getting more people who bring their land which is encumbered, which has tenants, to say, please government, pay me. I go somewhere else or I do some other activity, but I cannot utilize my land. It is heavily encumbered. So those are some of the things we are currently facing. But the good news is that we have USMIT, which made the successor project that has come on board, which is going to begin this August, and it is going to run for the next 6 years. We believe it will go a long way in handling our municipal councils and the 10 secondary cities. We will walk that journey with you as members of parliament to see how we can make our cities livable but also sustainable. With those few remarks, allow me to invite the Undersecretary to take us through the detailed presentation, and please ensure that you summarize to enable us keep time, because we are a little bit late.
You were not just a little bit late, you were very, very, very late. A little bit is being African and being conservative. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Before I let you present, members, I want to ask you, please take the apology of the Minister in good heart. Is that okay? Like I said, she's one of those most humble ministers I have seen. So I want to really believe that today was an error. Honorable Margaret here will be a witness. Don't you know that she's the most humble one?
I pray she's not humbler than me.
What we were talking about, we were not talking about you.
She's very humble.
So please, let's appreciate them. We will do better next time. Thank you. Please.
Thank you very much, Chair, and through my Honourable Minister and her colleague, once again, Gunga Emmanuel Freddy, the Undersecretary and Accounting Officer at the Ministry of Housing, Lands, Housing and Urban Development. And for the record, I am 85 days in the Ministry, so 2 months and 24 days. Quickly, honourable members, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development is mandated to ensure rational and sustainable use, effective management of land and orderly country development, planned and adequate housing for socio-economic transformation. And at that, allow me quickly make corrections which will help us so that as we go on, so that they don't interrupt you are listening to our presentation. I want to make a few corrections. On page 3 of 18, we've got, there is a mistake there where we wrote National Physical Planning Planners Registration Board. Honourable members, it is Physical Planners Registration Board. What we have on the where we are displaying is a corrected one. We are sorry about that. Then, pardon? Page 318, page 3 of 18. We have corrected that. Then the other one we are correcting is honourable members. We have 11 departments, not 12. 11 departments, still on the same page. So, and then later on, there is an addition where we have indicated, honourable members, that the ministry is it implements its programs through 11 departments and 22 ministry zone offices where the actual services are delivered, and you will see them, the MZOs where they are located and the districts they do serve. Honourable members, we are organized in 3 programs, and we've got land management, which includes land administration, surveys and mapping, land registration and land valuation. From the introductions, you could have had people introducing themselves as such. Then we also have physical planning and urban development, under which we have physical planning, urban development, land use regulation, compliance and enforcement. It's a bit of a mouthful. Then we've got housing development, where we have housing development as a department and estate management and human settlements as a department. And finally, we've got two supported departments. These are statistics, research, monitoring and evaluation, and then the Department of Finance and Administration. So, having mentioned that, I would like to call upon the Assistant Commissioner Planning and Budgeting to quickly run us through the remaining bit of the presentation. But allow me to say this. For the first time in Parliament, I am sitting in a committee and not starting as a witness. I've been an accounting officer in a number of ministries since 2020, but every time you go to a committee, you are addressed as a witness. Here we have been addressed as guests. We are humbled, and we want to reel back on that and ensure that we remain with that kind of reference. It is quite cordial and helps us interact with you meaningfully. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, PS. My name is David Wamai once again, and I am the Assistant Commissioner, Finance and Planning, and I want to take you through the remaining part. The first part is the financial performance for the financial year 2025-2026. Honorable members, in last financial year we received a total of we received an approved budget of 290 billion, and out of that, by Q4 we received 185 billion. That's the amount that was released. And by the end of Q4, we were able to spend 158 billion, making 74.5% of the budget released and 64.5% of the budget spent. Proceed. Honorable members, the fiscal performance of the ministry is categorized under three subsections. The first subsection is the land management, and under that land management we're able to undertake quite a number of activities. There are quite a number of laws and regulations reviewed. We are able to collect revenue, both NTR and tax, up to the tune of 51.045 billion. We are able to issue 173 titles, and we are able to undertake to review the land policy. We are also able to value 74,571 properties. We are able to handle the district land boards where they were vetted and approved, continue. And then we had 161 titles that were in fragile ecosystems. They were investigated, and quite a number of them were cancelled. And 15 kilometers of borderland was surveyed, and we also had to have the maps produced for those regions. And then we had the regional tourist map revised and produced for Lake Mburu National Park. Under fiscal planning and urban development, honorable members, we were able to handle the fiscal, to train the fiscal planners in the 23 urban councils on issues of compliance and enforcement. We were able to also support to do the supervision of the fiscal development plans in 10 local district local governments. We were also able to undertake the sensitization of both fiscal and technical leaders in the 10 district local governments. we are able to ensure that the fiscal planning conditional grant was disbursed to 40 district local governments, but also to ensure that the grant was used effectively. We handled the 6 slums in the 4 urban authorities of Moroto, Soroti, Masaka, and Hoima, in which they were profiled and mapped. Under housing development, honorable members, we handled 44 condominium plans that were vetted. We had a law on real estate revised and submitted to the Ministry of Justice. We had 6 communities identified and trained to formulate the housing cooperatives to help them undertake the financing of their housing. And then we did the housing needs assessment. Honorable members, budget overview for financial 2026-2027, the running. The ministry delivers its mandate and implements NDP4 through 4 programs which have been alluded to by the PS. And these programs are those ones stated: the sustainable housing and urbanization, then we have natural resources, and then sustainable energy. Proceed. Now, the table below shows the money that was approved in this financial year in respect to the 4 programs that I have mentioned. The first program is sustainable urbanization, and that's the amount that was approved under that, 158 billion. Under natural resources, environment and climate change, we have 41 billion. Under sustainable energy, we have 400 million. And under sustainable extractive industrial development, we have 300 million. Now, that is the money which is distributed across the 11 departments and the 22 MZOs. Proceed. Now, honorable members, that is now the detail in terms of the budget, the item category in terms of budget. Wage, we have 17.9 billion. Non-wage recurrent, we have 94.45 billion. And the GOU development for the three projects, 66.85 billion. And then we have external financing, specifically the UCHMID, 21 billion. And that gives a total of 200 billion, excluding the areas, which is 34 billion. Honorable members, those are the planned outputs. And still the 4, that one shall go to 11, under the 4 sub-programs. Under the land management, we continue. Yes, go on. Continue. Continue. Go ahead. Yes, continue. Continue. Yes, planned outputs. Under land management, honorable members, those are the outputs. We are going to handle land-related laws, including the Surveys, the Land Act, including the valuation regulations. So that's those are the laws that we are going to handle to ensure that land is managed effectively and efficiently. We are going to have all those laws and guidelines disseminated to local governments to be used by the beneficiaries. And we plan to have 120 kilometers of international boundaries surveyed and reaffirmed. We are going to have the 40 continuous operating referencing stations done. And then we are going to have the 54 thematic maps revised. Continue. We are going to have to restructure and harmonize the ranches, 6 of them in Barara. And we are going to have digitization and integration of large-scale maps for 4 cities of Masaka, Masindi, Soroti, and Mbale. We are going also to have the finalized updating of the national atlas. We are doing very badly there. We are going to have 80,000 property valuation is done. We are going to have 40 district land boards trained, and we are going to have 100 land titles issued in fragile ecosystems. And we intend to have 1,500 court cases litigated and 300 public hearings conducted. We want to have 120 blue pages converted, and then we also have 50 district land boards vetted and approved. Under fiscal planning and urban development as a sub-program, those are the outputs, those are the key outputs we intend to deliver. We have to review the national land policy. We need to implement the National Fiscal Development Plan, which is a guiding framework. We want to have the land use report developed, especially on the state of using the land, and then we want to have all regulations and the guidelines developed to ensure that land is done well. We intend to have preparation of land use balance sheet for Uganda. Then we also want to have the land clinics held at EMZOs. We intend to do investigative inspections, including audits. We want to do the capacity building for fiscal planners in law enforcement. That's why we are doing it badly, because the issue of fiscal planning is all about enforcement. Then we want to do a number of fiscal planning policies and the laws, including regulations, disseminated to the whole country. We want to do the supervision across all our activities running from land management, planner, surveying. We want to ensure that our political leaders, especially in districts, are informed about the fiscal planning and other related land matters. We want to do the slum profiling in 3 cities of Mbale, Arua, and then we want to handle the issues of solid management. It's very serious in urban centers. Then we want to carry out the regional engagements on the policies, especially land policy and the fiscal planning policy. Then we shall be doing the technical support in strategic urban practices. We want to do the waste management awareness. Is a serious issue of waste management. And then we want to empower the urban forums, starting with the 15 municipalities, to ensure that they manage the urban issues. Under housing, we intend to amend the Architects Registration Act and other laws, including the estate law, to be developed. We need to capacity of condominium property managers to have them prepared and trained. We want to have condominium plans vetted. We want to undertake stakeholders engagement, specifically in real estate issues. We want to have to come up with the climate resilient, low-cost prototype housing to ensure that the housing conditions improve. We shall be doing the partnerships under PPP arrangements to establish low-cost housing units in the areas. We're going to start with one. We want to do to have the community groups identified, nurtured, and trained in mobilizing financing through forming cooperatives. We want to have a very wonderful World Habitat Day. We want to have community savings groups sensitized across the country. That's the only way we can now harness the community financing into housing. And we want to have the real estate and housing exhibitions across the country, and of course handle the issues of the slum community savings. Honorable members, those are the programs under the 11 departments and then the 22 EMZOs. Now, specifically on the projects, the ministry has a number of projects that we thought we would take you through. Of course, now the government, the financing of this government is largely through the projects. Now, we want to take you through the critical projects that we have. Go ahead. And this included, the first one is the Uchimid, and that's the purpose of Uchimid is intended to improve the quality and the stock of urban infrastructure, strengthen competitively in quite a number of cities and municipalities. We shall attach a list, honorable members. We want to, the status of readiness is that the financing agreement was signed on June 22nd, and then the legal opinion by by the Attorney General was issued, and this means that the effectiveness, we are ready to go with the project. Now, those are the conditions which we have satisfied. We are ready to start the project. Proceed. Now, these are the key outputs. We want to handle 300 kilometers of road network with associated infrastructure. We want to have the 100 kilometers of drainage channels constructed along across all of those cities and municipalities where the project is. We want to have 11,000 solar street lights installed. We want to have 6 hectares along the paved roads, green. We want to have 1,000 kilometers of non-motorized infrastructure constructed. We want to have 400 hectares of green parks developed. We want to have 21 innovation and incubation business centers. We want to have 36 solid waste management strategies implemented in all of those cities and municipalities. And then we want to have 46 integrated development plans implemented. We want to have the national urban policy implemented to the dot, and then we want to have institutional capacity of 10 cities and 27 municipalities strengthened. Continue. And then we want to have the 21 urban transport facilities, bus, taxi, and the lorry parks constructed. Now, the priority deliverables, that was which were done, sorry, that was what was done. Now, the priority deliverable areas for 2026, 2027, those ones, we want to have 10 cities and 11 municipalities supported in implementation of climate smart infrastructure. We want to have enhancement strategies for 10 cities and 20 municipalities done. We want to have the second national urban conference conducted. We want to have 17 program vehicles procured to facilitate the activities. We want to have we shall do the budgetary support. We want to have, continue, we want to have the procurement of planning and management support provided to 21 local governments. Proceed, we want to have, proceed all those. Now, those are the activities which we want to do. I want to inform the House that most of these critical projects are done under local governments. The ministry largely does the policy supervision and ensuring that to enhance the local governments to undertake those critical projects, especially the construction of roads and all others mentioned. Now, 6.2 is the second project. It's the one we call the Land Economic Competitiveness Project. We call it LESEP. And this project, the period started 1st July 2024, and it will go up to June 2029. And we are covering all the 22 MZOs in supporting them, and the allocation of the budget is 42 billion. Now, the purpose of the project is to raise the land tenure security from 30% to 42%. Still, we are not doing well. That's the purpose. Proceed. And those are the project outputs. The land information system, we want to establish the centers for land information system. We want to ensure that the office space is okay for the 22 MZOs. We want to have the tools and equipment to undertake land management in the MZOs. We want to do systematic land adjudication and certification. We want to have the project management and coordination done. Now, those are the achievements so far. The 5,897 parcels were adjudicated and demarcated in those areas. The issues of land, 1,837 land administrative files were approved. 56 survey equipments were procured to help the survey program. The wrapper was done. There was a quality and a feasibility study of GNNS tablets. Continue. We did the needs assessment for additional office space and sanitation facilities required in MZOs. And now, in 2026-2027, those are the deliverables in terms of outputs that we intend to execute. Among them is to adjudicate the parcels 37,500. We needed to do the systematic survey and collect data. You know, surveying is all about data. We want to construct additional office spaces, this time in 14 MZOs. We want to operationalize the 10 LIS. In the MZOs, we want to procure 94 motorcycles and 94 portable scanners, 40 sets of survey equipment and furniture, and including the 2 vehicles for the project. The other ones that support the MZOs, and then we want to enhance the monitoring of fiscal planning. Now, the third project is the land evaluation infrastructure project, which we call LAVMIS, and this project started in 2021. It ends 2027, and it covers 135 districts. Now, in proceed, the budget allocation for this year is 5 billion, and that is the purpose, is specifically to improve the timeliness and quality of government valuations and strengthen revenue generation through modern valuation data. You know, taxing is all about data. Once you have sufficient data, then the tax becomes okay in terms of collection and administration. Now, the key outputs are those ones. We want to have the land values data bank implemented. We want to have compensation rates indexed. We want to have the property valuation is undertaken, and then we have land acquisitions for projects undertaken and generating the revenue. Now, those are the achievements so far. We have already 850 billion generated. We did the market research. We did the LAVMIS was developed. The 1,065 land acquisitions for government development projects was supervised. Go ahead. We had for the software developed. We did the compensation rates. We developed the principles, the drafted principles for the trustees. We did one regional workshop in Jinja. We did the training of trainers for the Central and Western regions MZOs. We did the land evaluation management information system, LAVMIS, in 6 MZOs. And we did property indices. Now, the planned activities for 2026-2027 are those ones. We want 224 tablets. We want to do the land valuation management systems in 22 MZOs. We want to do the property land value trend analysis, especially in 2 districts, Gulu and Jinja, to assess how valuation moves. We want to do the land valuation information system and infrastructure maintenance in all MZOs. Continue. We want to have the Valuation Act gazetted. We want to have 500 copies of the Valuation Act in 2025 produced and distributed. We want to undertake the financial support provided to International Valuation Standards Council. And then we want to do countrywide market research on land values undertaken. We want to do that annually. That is LAVMIS. Right. Now the next project is what we call the IDP. The IDP, that is Institutional Development Project, which was formerly called the Retooling Project. Now, this project is to enhance the ministry to deliver well. But I want to note that under that project, we are having, because we have not secured the project code, that's where we have money for blockchain. So out of the 19 billion, 8 billion is for blockchain, and then 1 billion is for housing to really enhance the housing. We want to develop the housing facility. Now, the purpose of the retooling project is that, and specifically the outputs expected from there, to have the information systems developed and operationalized to facilitate the operations of the ministry. We want to have the ICT hardware and software procured to equip the departments. We want to have furniture and fittings procured to improve on the working environment of the staff. And we want to have the equipment, transport equipment acquired, and we want to have the repairs and the maintenance of tools and equipments for the Ministry of EMSOS done. Now, these are the project achievements so far. That's what we have been able to do in the previous year. And in 2026-27, this is what we intended to do this running year. We wanted to buy 5 ministry vehicles. We are doing badly, including our ministers. We want to have assorted ICT equipment procured for the EMSOS. We want to have furniture, assorted furniture procured. We want to do the maintenance. We want to roll out the EDRMS. We want to do the housing information system assessment. And we want to develop the staff attendance trafficking system, especially at the EMSOS. Tracking. Now, what we want to do, we want the system to track, to see how many clients went to the EMSO and how they were served, because we are having a challenge there, so that the minister is able to take the decision. We want also to have the customer queuing system procured. Customer is to see how many customers have entered into the EMSO, and so that we are able to assess. And then we want to do the routine preventive and corrective maintenance of the EMSO offices. And of course, we want to maintain the ministry offices, the headquarters. We have offices at the headquarters here and in Tebe. Now, there's a blockchain project is where we are relying on to improve our performance in the ministry. Honorable members, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, in partnership with Alpha, that project is implementing a blockchain and artificial intelligence AI to enable the e-land registry to modernize Uganda's land administration system. And we feel, for us, we have hope that with this system, I think we are going to go a long way to improve. But however, this system depends on cleaning of data, and I think this is where the ministry, because we want to ensure that the data that goes into that system is clean data to give good results. So blockchain is going to help us. We hope that it's going to help us to sort out all these challenges and problems we are having. Proceed. All that's about blockchain. Proceed. Honorable members, those are the objectives of blockchain, the ones I have alluded to. The commissioner responsible will give more information. But as I said, it's going to address quite a number of challenges, including the challenges of fraud and many others in land management systems. Proceed. Now, honorable members, we want to go to the legislative program for financial year 2026-2027. The ministry is currently reviewing several legal and policy frameworks to address the emerging issues in land management, housing and urban development.
Point of order.
Yes.
Is it in order to continue reading things that are not uploaded on our system and when they are there? Because on our system, the blockchain is not, the component is not there. I don't know, because for us we rely on our iPad for information.
Honorable, I want to capture that concern very well.
Yes.
You are reading from the iPad,
yes,
and the information about blockchain is not there.
It is not there.
Do you have an extra hard copy? Because I have a hard copy here. To save us time, we can have a hard copy passed on.
No. Yes,
but again, because the hard copy can be misplaced. I don't know if you first did your first document and then updated it later, so that we are missing out some information. But blockchain is a hot cake.
Yes.
I'm already.
We want to make sure that the information that we have in hard copy is the same in the system of control. So
first, when you started mentioning blockchain, I thought you said Bitcoin, blockchain. What?
Yes.
So it's a very interesting area. So we really have to make sure we update clerk, make sure we follow up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Honourable Chair, through my minister, we apologize for that. What we sent in was what we had initially submitted. We are going to send in one which is even authenticated by the minister as well, signature, and it has this. It is something that we had skipped, and yet it's very important. That's why we have brought it in. And I think even on the one if we were hiding anything, we wouldn't have brought it up. So we apologize for that through my minister. We're going to give a clean hard copy which will be uploaded.
But no, I think we can improvise now and use the hard copy as they work on providing a signed one.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Through my PS, I want to proceed that under the policies, Chair, the two bills in the table below at the local, at the level where we need your support and are very crucial, and these are the Fiscal Planning Bill 2026, and the bill is before Cabinet Secretariat for consideration and approval by Cabinet, and we hope that after approval by Cabinet, it will be submitted to Parliament for debate and enactment into the law. The second bill is the Real Estate Bill. The Minister submitted comments to the Attorney General for incorporation in the bill, and after receipt of the final draft bill, it will be submitted to Cabinet for consideration and approval, and thereafter the bill will be submitted to Parliament for debate and enactment. Honorable Chair, through my peers, we have the critical unfunded activities, and these activities, honorable members, you note that the ministry, as chair alluded to, handles critical activities, and therefore the ministry handles critical enablers to unlock the constraints, including freeing land for productivity, undertaking fiscal planning to guide effective investments across the country, and ensuring affordable and decent housing for productive labor force. So if we are talking about the 10-fold strategy, Honorable Minister, our ministry makes a very tremendous contribution. And these are the areas where we feel we need some enhancement or additional funding. The first one is mapping is wage. We need to have, that's the total required wage if we are to have our staff fully paid and improve on our structure. The mapping and integration of fragile ecosystems, we need 3.5 billion. The development and enforcement of fiscal development plans, we need 251 billion to be able to undertake that. The rollout of the LAVMIS, the Evaluation Property Index, we need 7 billion. We have 5, the balance is 2. The payment of subscription to Shelter Afrique, we need 17. We don't have any money to that. And affirmation of international borders and the national boundary, Chair, we need 51 billion. This year we only have 1.3 billion, and we have a gap of 49 billion. For us to implement our legal frameworks very well, we need 3 billion, but right now we have 0.4 billion. We have a gap of 3, and that means we have quite a number of policy frameworks across all the value chain of land management, starting from fiscal planning, surveying, valuation, and then land administration. We need, if we are to scale up SLAC, we need 970 billion. We only have 32. We now institutional strengthening of the ministry, all of those departments with 22 MZOs, which are more or less autonomous establishments. We need more money, and we need about 33 billion. Currently, we have only 11 billion. Proceed. Honorable members, the challenges we have, I want also to apologize. The new document that we shall submit have enhanced the challenges. The challenges we have, one is the fraud and forgeries in land transactions, which are enhanced. But that's a very big challenge, and we are associated with the misallocation of land by the district land boards. We have impersonation on land. We have forged letters of administration. We have fraudulent surveys. So that's one critical area. The second area is the resistance by the public, honorable members. The resistance by the public to cancellation of land titles, especially in a fragile ecosystem. We have issues of historical land injustices. We have issues of absence of low-cost housing. We have increasing housing deficit. We have encroachment on government and public land across the country. Is a very serious issue. We have inadequate funds, as I have mentioned in the table that I have just presented. We need quite a substantive amount of money for us to handle issues of land. Then non-adherence to fiscal planning regulations, standards and guidelines, the issue of enforcement. And then we have urban sparrow. And then we have the high rate of urbanization. We shall, as we apologize, we shall, the document that we shall share to have that. Now, honorable members, this is how we intend to improve our the ministry, the plans. We want to expedite the amendment of the policies and regulations, especially those that touch on the land. We want to undertake serious stakeholder engagements for buy-in in sector programs for improved service delivery. We want to scale up systematic land adjudication. We want to do, we hope that with your help, we want to increase the lobbying to ensure that the ministry gets more funding, proceed. We need to coordinate, strengthen the coordination of the fiscal planning. We need to continue. We need to have to protect the environment, especially those sensitive areas. And we need to continue cancellation of land titles in wetlands and those ecosystem areas. And we want to survey and title all government land, government and public land. Honorable members, that is what we intend to do as the ministry. The last part, honorable member, I leave it for the owner of the honorable minister, who is the owner of the report. Thank you so much.
Chair, before handing back to the honorable minister, I wanted also to make one other clarification. While mentioning about the program on land management, I mentioned land, and what was written was land valuation. After Apex, it has since become valuation services, and valuation services handles both the tangible and intangible assets. So the tangible, we have the development on land, the land itself, plant and machinery, natural resources, and others. Then the intangible, we've got patents, we've got shares, innovations, etc. That is what CGV is in. So it's not land valuation, it is valuation services. Thank you very much, Chair. Back to you, Honorable Minister. Thank you.
Maybe Commissioner can switch off that microphone. There is an echo.
Brett, do you have anything to add? Okay.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Among the things, I have also been in the ministry for a very short time. Like Dr. Mugunga said, he's been there how many days? 85. I've been there less because I found him there from July 4th. That's when we took over offices. But at least I've read a lot and I've learned a lot in the ministry. and there are many complaints that come to that ministry. The moment you sit in your office, even before I went to office, people had already started calling about issues to do with land transactions and things like that. And you all know what problems we've been facing as a country, double titling, multiple titling of the same land. But when you ask the people concerned, they say, you see, it's a whole chain. It starts here and there. Starts with the surveyors, and I guess they can pick the coordinates that this land is already titled, but nonetheless, they continue and make these titles. For me, honorable members, what I wanted to raise in this meeting is about National Housing and Construction Company Limited. I don't want to go in the legal matters of the company, but the company is still operating, but they have no money. And if I remember very well, they really owned properties, they built houses and sold them. But we want them now to go to the low-cost houses, because this is what has been a problem. The mushrooming slums can be, we can use national housing to end these slum areas in Kampala. I'm sure many of you, when you enter Kampala and even go to other cities in Uganda, Kampala is dirty, it's unlivable, it's unchangeable, it's just chaotic with all this garbage everywhere, and people have no responsibility. It's thrown by us, isn't it? Haven't you ever seen people driving in very beautiful cars and throwing bottles outside their cars? And they complain that Kampala is littered. They eat things and throw kavera anywhere. We need also to start sensitizing people about personal responsibility. Don't wait for government to come and clean in front of your house. Do it yourself. Somebody is owning a shop, and outside it, there's too much garbage with so many flies around. Sincerely, you can do something as an individual. Now, the public needs to know that they also have a responsibility. The thing I'm raising about national housing is that these low-cost houses will at least get slum dwellers out of these slums, so that the slums can also be developed for maybe a middle class, because I won't say high-end. There are few people who are high-end in this country. The middle class, like members of parliament, heads of parastatals, they can go and buy those houses and live in them. You look at Katanga, right opposite Makerere University. The slum had started moving a little. A few people have put their good buildings, but in between Mulago and Wandegea, the slum looks horrible. And if you walk down there, people live in pathetic conditions. These ones, I don't know, the land tenure system is actually the bottom line. The biggest problem we face is the land tenure system. If we had just one land tenure, I don't know whether it's possible, at least two, my land should be abolished. Because these were injustices created at that time, and they only exist in kingdom areas, Toro, Ankole, Bunyoro, Uganda. Elsewhere there is no Mairo land. So these are few individuals, the ones who own this land, that we can do away with, title the land, and make sure people have a clear land ownership, because they are living, people own land here in perpetuity. Somebody is a Kibanjo owner, he has equitable interest in titled land, someone else is having a title. These kind of contradictions are purely political laws that somebody else will come and remove one day. But why don't we do it as members of parliament now? So that this will help even the housing to improve, because somebody will own land, know that I'm on a lease from Kampala City Council, and this is what I must do. Because I'm in the City Council, I cannot now get freehold. But you find in the same city, there is Mairo land, there is freehold, there is somebody who has a lease. How does Kampala really manage this land tenure kind of thing? But if everybody had a lease and knows that they owe it to the City Council to develop that land, wouldn't be seeing a lot of slums around Kampala. Because we can make laws in this parliament and everybody is bound to develop their plot. If you do not do it, then government can come and do it for you and allocate you a flat. or we go in a PPP, public-private partnership, where some investor can build houses. You who owned the land, they give you like 4 apartments. But the land has been developed and people are living in better conditions. So for us, we think if we capitalize this national housing, we can change the face of Kampala. We can really change the face of Kampala. There are some places I reach and I even wonder whether it is in the city or somewhere in Congo, in the jungles of Congo, houses with stones on top, with, I don't know whether it's asbestos, but some cavera kind of thing, with a lot of stones, and that's a house in the heart of Kampala. We need to really develop this city and make it a livable city. Make it cleaner. Make it more lively and lovable. Then there is also a big disconnect in how we plan this city. I'm talking about Kampala because most of you now live in Kampala. It's happening in all other cities, but in Kampala it's worse. There are places in Kampala where people can't live anymore. Next to your house is a church. Next to your house there is a bar. Actually, there are only 2 entities which make noise for people. But you know that there is a law against noise pollution. A church blares its music. The president says they shout as if God has no ears. Even if you spoke, even if you just meditated, God will hear you. And then bars. If you live in Bugolobi, many people have abandoned their homes in Bugolobi because the entire place is full of bars. Now they've moved to Kololo, a high-end area in Kololo. But it has so many bars, people can't sleep. Churches in Naguru. So many people have been raising all these. There's a church which is going to be next to a hospital, the Heart Institute. How do you expect a heart patient to be living in a very noisy area? They will get heart attack. And shifting a church also becomes complicated. Why can't a church go and live in an area where there are no residences, where there are no hospitals? Can't somebody establish a church? If you are really healing people, you are a prophet, they will find you wherever you are. You don't have to be in the middle of residences. People can't sleep. So we have to grapple with a lot of problems in land. A lot of problems. I started with double titling, then land tenure system, now to the noise pollution. All these matters touch land, and I'm sure 100% of you live on land. Even if you live on an apartment, it was started on some piece of land. So we really need to prioritize the Ministry of Land, empower these technocrats for them to do their work, empower the MZOs to do their work, to know that this land has ever been surveyed. Why are we resurveying it and putting a new title on it? Because some of these things I tell the staff of Ministry of Lands that unless you have given up on heaven, then you can keep doing these things. But if you are still working for heaven and you're a Christian, just know that you are going to be cast to the 4th generation. And if you're not a Christian, they still come that will come after you. So do the right thing. You'll find blessings in both the Christians and even non-Christians. Garbage collection. Garbage collection is the biggest problem of all urban areas. All urban areas, including small trading centers. They don't have the capacity to pick all the garbage that is collected. But still I go back to personal responsibility that if people were littering less, there would be also less for the government to pick, or the cities or entities to pick. There will be less. Now we have these new programs where we're going to do good roads for the communities. The biggest problem is our communities do not value what government is doing for them. Can you imagine a person says, I had an avocado tree here, you will not remove it to pass a road, I want money. Like, this is some project of billions, bringing your land to a better value. You will take your children to school through a better road. You are actually the person who should even surrender part of land to the government to construct a road. But because the land was given to the people in the 1995 Constitution, which was wrong, land should belong to government. In Tanzania, government does projects so easily because land belongs to government. And all other countries, if you see the countries that have good infrastructure development projects, land belongs to the government. And I'm not saying people won't be compensated, people are compensated, but land ultimately has to belong to a government, not to individuals, because it's very difficult now to convince Ugandans that I'm going to pass a road, your land will have more value, you will have better access to hospitals, schools, or whatever markets. It's so difficult. Somebody feels like they're so entitled and they don't need the road, yet they need the road more than anything else. So we have a lot of way to go, but I'm sure we'll walk this together and we shall achieve what we want to achieve. These low-cost houses, because people say affordable, but affordable is relative. It could be affordable to you and not to me. So it has to be low-cost and also low-cost, actually, not even affordable. Housing in Kampala. There was also a suggestion that I heard people say, people have built in road reserves. Do you know that people have built in wetlands, road reserves, forest reserves? Kampala, there are places where 2 cars cannot pass. You go to Muyenga, it's a rich man's slum, created many years and over time. At least in the last 15 years, all this chaos has been created. Reversing it is very difficult. So for me as the Minister for Urban Development, I keep saying we have to move this capital city, period. Where Kampala has reached, nobody can manage to change it. It can even be difficult for our own creator to change the dynamics of Kampala. But if we moved MDAs out of Kampala, we would have some space. The turnaround time for people to deliver in this city costs us $1.4 billion every year that we lose to time. You leave your house at 4 a.m. in order for you to drop your children at school by 7 and be at office by 8. That time that you have wasted on the road, and then another 4 hours, 8 hours are wasted in traffic jam. This can only be cured by one thing. And I want to give you an example. Many countries have done this and they have succeeded. Look at South Africa. South Africa has 3 capital cities. They have Pretoria, where the whole government sits. They have Cape Town, where Parliament sits. And they have Bloemfontein, where the judiciary sits. Isn't business going on? What does it cost us to remove the judiciary from Uganda and say, go to Hoima, stay there, all cases will be adjudicated in Hoima? Whoever has a case will go to Hoima, don't they? Don't they come to Kampala for the same services? Just say Parliament, go and sit like in Gulu or Lira or Nakasonga, get out of the heart of Kampala. Then you have Entebbe for the, because those ones need to be close-knit within government. There is also e-governance. We sit here, we have meetings when we are not in face.
Please, I apologize for cutting you short. And you will forgive me. I told you she's like a mother. So somehow I was favoring her. But I know my mother. When we go back at home, she starts talking and it might never end. But you have noted, colleagues, that I don't know if Honorable Minister planned to preempt my members, but there is something I'm not seeing. Allow me to mention some things that I'm not seeing. First of all, I am an African. I believe in what I touch and see. Right now, I am looking at 2 empty chairs between the minister and the technical people. And I'm now wondering, is that the gap between the minister and the technical people? Is that what it has always been? I understand you will have an explanation for anything. But I want to relate this to what I am observing. 2, when the PS and the team were reading the document, of course, members realize there is a lot of information in this document, but we will need to go a very great mile to understand it. I was here thinking and discussing with clerk that if it means me persuading my honorable members that we accord as much time as possible to this sector, that it means us sitting here and talk to department per department. If members, you support me, we should do it, because this information here shared is just bullets, and yet there is much more we would appreciate and support if we understood what is going on. Of course, you are noting the words the technical people are using, like inadequate fund, big words, those ones, you know, they are using. And then when the minister started talking, emotions are talking, and you feel like you can relate more closely with the minister than what the technical people are doing. What? I think the gap should get closer there immediately. Please, the gap should.
I just wanted to give you a heads up on the entire sector and how I see it. Members, and the way forward.
The minister spoke as a member of this committee, preempting all the issues. As a member, and almost making a statement that we are giving up on Kampala. So you can imagine. But that should clearly explain to us. Number one, as a sector, I want to congratulate you. Honorable members, this committee is 1 year, and now we are starting almost another year. Before, this sector was in the periphery of infrastructure. It was infrastructure and lands. So usually, business of infrastructure attracted more attention than land. Now, by God's grace, we have a committee focusing entirely on the sector. When I joined Parliament, I was a GC committee and a dry one. When I was here, I observed a strategic committee. They said GC one. Yes, because it is strategic, but not yet juicy, because the sector has enormous challenges. So it is us, how much time we invest in, how much we understand their issues, their challenges. That is the only way we can support this sector. Maybe for those who join next year can find it maybe juicy one. But for us, for now, we are dealing with the only strategic one, which has so many problems that we need to solve. Now, speaking to some issues that we are raising, government started the National Housing Company, intended to construct houses for all types of Ugandans. But what we have are the constructions for the high-end people, only people who can, and middle income. But middle income is almost not the middle income of Uganda if you went on ground. We shall go and visit. Government started the National Housing Finance Bank, intended to finance housing. National Housing Finance Bank is now in the markets lending commercially. Those are issues we're going to have to interrogate here as a committee. Even the FCU, things started in good spirit, but completely diverting from the agenda of government and going elsewhere. Honorable Minister, recently I visited, I was standing somewhere on the building in Chikoni, and I looked at Chiwunya. You are talking about Katanga. I looked at across Chiwunya, and I said, oh, cry Uganda, oh, cry, and I'm chair lands and the urban development. I said, oh, where will I start from and where will this? Oh my God. People live in the 2 decimals, they construct this makeshift house, they do what? Terrible things. Honorable Minister, there is Luchamuzi, Wati on land, there is which ad hoc committee, there is what the investigative forum, confusion and chaos in land. Oh my God. Anyway, honorable colleagues, we are invited here. That is why when I started, I made that statement intentionally. We cannot start by squabbles and what. What we have to do is get invested in these challenges and support and do everything possible to support this sector. Bring it up, and then later on we can start the other talk. Well, I don't want to take a lot of time, but Honorable Minister, we cannot have all these problems and still come to a meeting 1 hour late, because there are many issues to discuss. So if we want to move our sector so much, it means we have to put more of our time to effective use. I don't want to take any other minutes. I want to invite members who have issues to raise these issues, to discuss with them, but I want to ask members, let's invest time in this sector. Only that we shall be able to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Ministers, before we proceed, Mr. Chair, I want to know, this gentleman, Dr. Mugunga, is under secretary. Where is the PS?
Honorable Chair, we don't have a PS right now. Her contract ended and it hasn't been renewed. So he's acting.
He's also acting. Okay. Thank you. I have two questions. Honorable Minister, she has talked about them, double titling, and you have an advanced system compared to Tanzania ones. Why are you still having that double titling in our ministry? There is a conspiracy. What could be the problem? Another thing, that when it goes to Honorable Minister Nabakoba, Judith, in Ankole, they were restructuring of ranches whereby you were supposed to give land titles in 1998. Those ones who were squatters before, bona fide occupants, and even ranchers, up to now, in 1998, nothing have ever been done. And you went there, nothing was done. Then, Under Secretary and Honorable Ministers, through your chair, there is a place called the Rwengel South in Imbarara City where you represent. I think you know that place, Honorable Judith, Rwengel. Yes. There is also a Milo land. Those people, they are almost killing each other. And you promised them to give them titles. I don't know why you're not acting. Through your chair, instead of coming here, we talk, we take tea, eat mandas, we go. We should now, this gentleman is asking that where is mandas? They are coming, I hope so.
Members, maybe, sorry, Chair, I need to communicate to our guests and honorable colleagues. We have tea outside here. You know, the culture initially was putting tea on the table, but we were looking ugly outside. So now there is a table of tea. The TVs were only capturing the eats. So now we decided to put a separate table. So please, members, our guests, please feel free to walk out, pick tea, take something as we work. Feel at home. This is your home now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. But before they take our tea, they have to answer. Honorable Judith, Minister, I think that issue, it needs first implementation. If you can rescue those people, I think you have noted. Now I can stop there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me.
Thank you, Honorable. I think, members, we shall take 3 minutes because I had earlier said we should adjourn at midday. It's already almost 40 past midday. We have very few minutes. I want by 1 we leave here. So 3 minutes and then we make a way forward and leave here.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank the presenter for the presentation. But Chair, we have so many issues to raise, some of which Honorable Mr. Margaret has mentioned. When you look at the time, it's like it's a 1:15, and you know plainly the space. Even yourself in your communication, you guided that we need a lot of time, and it would be better off if we handled a department by department. So I would propose, Chair, that perhaps you adjourn and we meet these people in their department such that we can fire these questions to them. For me, I have one concerning the MZOs. Yes, Chair, the Ministry of Lands has a habit of their staff not working on Mondays and Fridays. To be particular, Ginger office. I don't know whether that's a new policy or not. Or are you aware or not? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hope it's me. Good. Mr. Chair, my name is Mudi Obole, Abed Nasa. I have 2-3 issues to comment about. One, I thank Honorable Mohanga. There's a book in the Bible called Lamentation. She reread that book and understood it well. That book is attributed to Solomon. Excellent. Some of the issues raised had been sort of the way back by the late His Excellency General in the 1975 Land Reform Decree. He resolved all these issues and created a single system where all land belonged to government. This issue was reintroduced to Uganda in 1995, and it has hiked public goods constructions. Roads are so high. The most expensive road in the world is in Uganda because of the land tenure system. I think if the government to which you serve could bring back that system, it would really help Uganda go ahead. All countries which have developed, land belongs to government. It's unfortunate that all what was done by the previous presidents has been said to be bad. I wish your government could shy away from that historical stories and we go into reality. I was in Somalia, I returned on Sunday. It is developing at a very high rate. I am certain in the next 7 years, Mogadishu will be better than Kampala. You can't believe it because of the land tenure system. It's a big problem. Mr. Chair, I was listening to the presenters of this document. They have presented very good, they have simplified for us the entire ministry. But I've not heard about these militarized committees of General Tamzi, Fiona, is it Barunji? I have not. And yet, the problems we are having, among others, are those committees which are appointed by the president. They are turning around judgments. A judgment is very clear. Honorable, I will give examples but don't have time. I am an advocate for the last 18 years. So I have examples. But because of time, I can't explain. I have not had them. And yet they are well facilitated. And in the report here, we are having issues of underfunding. If that money would be put in the proper government structure, the government is run through ministries, not those ad hoc committees. Mr. Chair, to the honorable ministers, if you could present this and the president integrates those to the ministry, that money would do a lot for us as Uganda. Then on the issue of double titling, actually I have gotten a case where one piece of land had 3 titles. The owner, a 97-year-old woman, had her title.
Switch on your microphone, Honorable.
Thank you. There was another title. We went to court. The other title was cancelled. When we presented the woman's title to Emzo Wakiso, they confiscated it and had another title, a third one. We presented this case to the Commissioner of Land Registration, Mr. Baker. What he could do was only to put a commissioner's caveat. The guys have now developed, the rich guys have developed the land because they have their title. Our title was confiscated by the commission. So you cannot save anything. 3 titles on one land. A 97-year-old woman. She's on a wheelchair. She's saying, I am an administrator, I want to dispute this estate. And this is government system.
No, Minister, take note of that issue.
Then the other issue of customary land registration.
Honorable, we don't have a lot of time. Wind up.
As I of chair, if that come earlier, surely we would have gotten good engagement. I come from Iganga, where most land is customary. People are fearing to title their land because of what they are hearing in Kampala and Uganda. The land grabbing is more in titled areas. The question here is, although government is trying to extend the registration of titles, what plan is government having to ensure that in the new areas there is no land grabbing which is happening elsewhere in the historical land titled areas?
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. Let's make sure we share the limited time that every member can raise an issue. Honorable Mtomo.
For record purposes, I'm Honorable Kazora, MP, in the South. Chair, I want to put it to members that most of problems created are being created by these people. Because when you were presenting, you presented well. Even you are putting budget for case backlog. But I have vivid examples where your minister wrote saying that this title was issued erroneously because of double titling. And one of your commissioner for senior surveyor called Kakoza Jesfa wrote court and ministry informing that they made an error by issuing by plotting land again when it's a minor land and it was a lien. And there are papers here. And I was the interested party. But by God's luck, I never knew I would appear on this committee. But now, it took 4 years. 4 years. A case, it is now 4 years. The case is not yet resolved. The Minister of Lands wrote a letter confirming that they used the land in error. Now, the one whom they issued the land had given some people in the land 500 million. Yes, now he said, unless you give me money or you allocate me another land, I will keep the case in court until I'm being compensated. Now it is 4 years, Minister of Housing and Urban Development, I mean, Uganda Land Commission, they cannot forfeit money which they took, and now they are looking for land in compensation. They cannot get their land to allocate him, so now the case is in court. So, how are we going to solve this? I thought you people technocrats, it would be easy for you to stop such a cases to go to court and say, for us, we made an error. This land was issued in an error. Therefore, the owner should take it.
Honorable Kazora, I want to request that because everyone has every case has so many details to explain, and we may not have the time. If members agree with me, and if the minister will be present to support, when we meet the land registration department, we must exhaust those cases when we are interfacing with one department. I ask you members, please support me. Let's come here and sit and interface with these people department by department. Otherwise, one thing I know about every land issue has so many facts that you have to first put on the table for someone to what? To understand. Honorable Minister, I want you to take a minute.
Add me 1 minute. Because I want us to get solution for this. Honorable Minister, we have information, as you are telling us here, that every department, they have a system. Before you log in, issue another title. The system already tells you that this land is already titled. Why can't we arrest there and then the individual, the officer who has issued another title on another, so is remanded and is incriminated, so that the world can see, so that other people do not use other titles. But if we keep saying that, let us go to court, let us see, other new titles and other titles are being created every day. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, why do we have double titling in Uganda? And yet you say we have systems. There is also multiple. Someone saying we have 3 titles on one land. How is it possible in this era? How? I think you will answer. Honorable Babank, let's go so that every member can mention one thing. You have anything to say?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. It has been mentioned here already that this Ministry of Lands is underfunded. My question to Honorable Minister is, this is a ministry that creates money. It does, produce income for government. How come it is underfunded? Is it that we have not articulated very well what we need in the ministry so that the vote is not given? I would like Honorable Minister to help answer. By the way, for the record, I come from Terego East, the Member of Parliament for Terego East. And in Terego, we host 225,000 refugees, and they live on the land. In a later time, I will come with my issues. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, what Honorable Babang raises is very important. Your ministry is the only ministry here that I know in Uganda that does not just come to take away money. It generates a lot of money. But why are we not investing where the finances come from? The other day I saw Minister of Finance struggling to bring a bill before Parliament that stamp duty goes to 10%. You already have 1.5% and people are dodging it. There are many leakages. Then you want to raise it. You have not tightened the loopholes. we need to become a think tank here and see what we can do. You have something good, a very good proposal, love miss. I've seen only 5 billion needed. And yet we need values for every piece of land in this country. Actually, you need to guide us as we go forward. What strategic area should we fight for in this ministry? We fight for as Parliament and allocate the funds so that this ministry can generate a lot of revenue for government. But we are not doing our best. Thank you. Honorable, please.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As a matter of procedure, Honorable Chair, earlier you had stated that we need to set our ground rules for this committee, and we left it hanging. I am of the opinion that before we leave or before you suspend the House, we address that issue and finalize so that everybody is aware of what rules to follow as we deliberate on this committee. If you look across the technical bench, Honorable Chair, I'm not very sure whether procedurally the dressing code is in tandem with the decorum that we require of this House. Now, let me go to my substantive issues. First and foremost, as a ministry, Honorable Chair, am I protected? Thank you.
Honorable Ma'am knows that I cannot intervene, but please, there's only one person speaking.
Honorable Chair, as a ministry, I was expecting a presentation that is much better than this, because in some of the issues, for example, they presented a table of the budget, what was budgeted for, the revised, what was released, what was spent, and you can see that even the little that was released was not spent, and there's no explanation in the report. How will we understand what's happening? How do you ask for more when you can't use little? What are the explanations behind these figures here? And then in the plans, you find them saying we want to do ABCD. There are too many things that the minister wants to do, and yet they are underfunded. Why don't we prioritize? Why don't we get organized and focus on a few areas, achieve and have impact before we scatter? We are everywhere and achieving nothing. So let's get organized as a ministry.
Honorable, yes.
Yeah, just a few. The other thing, the critical issue that I have had here is this issue of land ownership. Somebody stated here that we should abolish individuals or institutions owning land and should revert to government. This is a touchy issue. We must first understand why was this provision put in the 1995 Constitution before you even think of amending the Constitution to revert all land to government. I want us to be very, very cautious because it's a touchy issue. It might cause us more problems than what. Let's not be simplistic in solving a problem. Just because government is not able to acquire land for development does not mean, therefore, that government should own all the land. As I would look at the angle of valuation. What measures do we have in place to ensure that the valuation of land is fair and adequate across board? Because within the ministry and within government, we've got speculators that inflate the prices and make it very difficult for government to acquire land. Let's address those issues other than going to the other touchy one that will affect us seriously as a country.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. Please wind up.
Let me wind up.
We have less than 4 minutes. I can't keep adjusting my time.
Okay, less than 4 minutes.
No, not for you. For the entire committee to close.
Honorable Chair and members, I buy into the idea that we need ample time to discuss with this technical team, and so that we digest issues. We don't just need to
brush over.
The remaining members will be speaking, and I will ask you to comment whether you agree we go department by department. I know somehow we are supposed to have an in-house and we meet you. Maybe you have some kind of induction, but I would also prefer we do it here. Then later we can always meet for any workshop anywhere else, but any member, I want to know if you're willing to commit time and we go and we meet these people department by department. Honorable Vincent.
Thank you, Chair. Again, my name is Vincent Freedom Kaheru. I represent the people of Chaka North in Chegegwa district. And I had just 3 issues, but luckily most of them have been well articulated by the colleagues. So my concern has been on the underfunding, and I wanted to know what steps the ministry is taking to take advantage of the new budget year so that the needs of the ministry are well articulated and reflected in the budget. The other one was on mapping titles, and I have cases that I will bring, hopefully at the next meeting, from my part of the world, which is Chaka North, Chegegwa district. We have a lot of disturbance in that overlapping, and I keep asking myself, in this era of digital and spatial capabilities, why are we still having overlapping titles? Could it be a case of fraud? I leave that to you. The third and last is on the absentee landlords. It is a big issue. Hopefully at the next meeting, I'll come with specific cases from Chaka North that may need a lot of attention. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Vincent. I'll keep reminding Honorable Minister, the Honorable. I have numbers behind me. Yes. I'm going to give you an opportunity. Minister, you mentioned in the document, you mentioned something about the view of the national land policy. I don't know how far you have gone with that. You need to highlight on that. Honorable Stella, you allow me grant vice to ask, then I come to you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. For purposes of record, I'm Tiriaza Peace, woman representative, Jinja District. With land, we have so many issues. Recently, there were land titles that were processed in Jinja District, and 28 of them did not have seals. Well, under the law, we know under the RTA that a title that does not have a seal is invalid. And I'm only wondering what the minister or the ministry got authority to process such titles without seals and give them to the layman who does not even understand the law. That means that is where we get cases where after them getting those land titles, we find that there's another title that is valid, that is being issued to someone else. And you come up with your title that has no seal and you'll just be told it is not there, it does not exist. In matters, then also another matter of digitization. What happens to these ones that are not in the urbanized areas and cannot access the digital way of digitalizing our land issues? Basically, in the ministry, we well know that we can record all these issues with these in purposes of fighting fraud, corruption under the land registry. But how are we going to fight it if even down there under the district we are only prioritizing the urban areas where you talk of Kampala and you're leaving out Jinja, you're leaving out, like you said, you're leaving out so many districts. It means to come up with a digital transformation, we have to look just being around Kampala and also Jinja, maybe Mukono, and go wide, national-wide, to other districts. Then also, in purposes of land conflicts, if we are to have 300 public hearings, how will these hearings improve access to justice for the women, the disabled, and also the youth? We well know that they are underfunded. Most of them in their households, they look at the male figures as people who can come in and fund them into these cases of land. So how are we going to come up with such measures to rectify such problems? I conclude with the seals, because it's a very big problem. 28 titles were issued in Jinja district without seals. We need to look into it.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I hope you're taking notes. Honorable Tiang Stella, then Honorable Kochi, please, I think you can use.
Thank you, Chair. Stella Chang is my name. Member of Parliament for Moroto District. I just have a few things to put across. Chair, government acquires land for government development. Of recent, Moroto is one of the districts that is developing rapidly, and government has been acquiring land on behalf of investors to fasten, to encourage investments. Chair, I want to bring across to the Ministry of Lands the issue of land acquisition format. It's actually one of the things that the public is not aware. There is a lack of clarity in terms of the format. There is a lack of clarity in terms of the unit price, the unit of measurements and the unit price. And of course, it's always important that pre-payment of these people, after verification and valuing the land, people should be given notice of what amount of land that has been taken by government and what amount has been allocated to them. That is lacking. That is lacking as you do your work, and that has caused a lot of theft to the poor Ugandans who are not land by the land people. Can we ensure that there are notices of how much they are supposed to be to get from government? For example, now is this road Nadunget Rupa, where this factory, the Yobai factory is the road that the Yobai factory is using for ferrying its materials. Government acquired land, but there is non-clarity in terms of the payment format. How much land has each PAP, how much land has been taken from each PAP, and how much money is supposed to be given? It's not clear. The allocation is not uniform, and the PAPs actually there's a lot of mix. There are thieves inside claiming to be PAPs. There's need to vet that, and I know that has come to your desk. Can we look at that, making sure that the payments notices are given earlier to these beneficiaries before they receive their payments? Secondly, Honorable Chair, there is rampant interboundary conflict. The Minister, Judith Nabakaba, knows about it. And this has distorted local government development. A district gets a structure to construct somewhere, and then the other district comes and says, no, you've come into our land, this is not your land. And even after starting, can you imagine after wasting money putting there, the other local government stops everything and things get distorted that way. What plans do you have to end these boundary conflicts among these districts? Because Moroto has lost a lot of money in conflicts between NAPAC and Amodat. Chair, we have poor implementations of whatever plans that we put across. I know that the ministry has developed many physical development plans and given to some local governments and municipalities. But this has never come to be implemented. Even where things are clear, we see things going a mess, but nobody wants to intervene at the right time. We come in after somebody has invested a lot of money, and then we say, you built in a wrong place, this was supposed to be a road, this was supposed to be a road reserve. Where were you to come as early as possible? Timely intervention is key. And then implementation of these plans is very important, because you use money to develop those plans. Now, it reaches to a time whereby, because those plans have time of validity, after 5 years, it's expired, you need again to develop another one. When you've not implemented the other one that you developed early, can we do that? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Stella. These issues are so many. I don't expect the minister to answer all of them here, but I hope the head of the department is noting members' issues such that when your department comes here, you should be able to provide a detailed answer. Of course, you will be supported by the minister. Please take note of those issues. We may not allow everyone to respond, but at that point of every department to clarify on every issue. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. Taiwa Didas Kabumbuza, Member of Parliament representing Coach constituency. I have an issue, and it is rampant in my district. Someone owns land, he gets lease from the government, and changes the lease to freehold, and you find someone is telling you, I even don't know how big is my land, because he's asking court to give him an order to be able to actually see the boundaries of his land. And these are the absentee landlord you're talking about. And eventually, they be like, the government should compensate me for this land that I acquired fraudulently. So may I think, before we compensate so-called absentee landlord, first of all, we see whether this guy, this person acquired land in a right way. Because may I think there is kind of connivance between some staff in the ministry and these brokers. Actually, I think they get information from the ministry that there is this public land, then someone acquires it from there, even doesn't know where the land is, then eventually changes the title, then he wants to, again, to get compensated. So that is a big problem, because for God's sake, how can you be there and you don't know how big is your land? You be like, I want to check, I want to actually open boundaries for my land. I actually don't know where my land is. And you're claiming it is your land. So these people actually did not buy the land, but they used the people who are working there to acquire this land. This is a very big problem, and if it goes like that, we shall have very many people claiming to be compensated, yet they did not acquire this land in right procedures. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable David. Thank you. Honorable Sumaya, you have something to say? Yes. Just a brief one, then we make way forward quickly, and then the minister.
Thank you so much. It is unfortunate that we don't have time to exhaust. But this seems like an introductory meeting. We are meeting the ministry for the first time, being our first engagement. I want to appreciate you for showing up. Some of us are first-time MPs. This is my first time in Parliament. As I appreciate the person who prepared this presentation, I would like to request that next time, please let us put a section for the abbreviations. Do not assume that everyone understands what ZMO is. There are too much abbreviations in this presentation that actually I've been struggling to understand as a person.
RTKs,
those ones. But next time I think better. Once again, I'm the Shadow Minister for this ministry, and I have just a few issues to talk about.
Honorable,
Number one,
I request you limit yourself to 2 issues, only 2 issues.
Please, let me limit myself to those. Number one, let me appreciate you for your work. Thank you so much. Number two, Honorable Muhanji, Margaret Muhanji, Muhanga, Honorable Muhanga, thank you so much. I really felt your desire to develop the slum areas. And I actually thought about, because as we plan to develop these areas, are we thinking about resettling the low income earners, because those people barely earn even $1 per day. So if we don't consider that, we shall actually create another slum area somewhere else. Let us consider that. And number two is about, we have had many accidents along the highways, Honorable Minister, and most of these have been created due to the huge vehicles, the heavy vehicles which break down along the way. We used to have yards where these vehicles were towed along highways. Or we used to call them PIDA land. What happened to that land? It was government land. We need to know, because it saves too much life. When they break down, they used to tow them to those yards, keep them there until they take them to where they were supposed to take them, garages or wherever. We really need to have many questions, but for now, because of time, we shall be exploring more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sumaya. Honorable colleagues, Minister, and technical people, we are doing that. It's now 1:13. Members have a session at 2. Members have to have lunch. Technical people and the Honorable Minister, if you leave this tea with me today, the next meeting we shall not have tea. I wanted to announce it early in time, because many of you have refused to go and take the tea. So next time when we don't plan for it, please. But that's on a later note. Number one, the suggestion is on the document. PS, please update the document, share it with us with acronyms on the separate page. Second, honorable colleagues, if you may agree, I propose, starting next week on Monday, we meet our stakeholders in their departments. I have seen here in the document, you said the ministry implements its programs and projects through 11 departments categorized as sub-programs. I would propose, I know Honorable Minister once said there is cabinet.
There is cabinet on Monday, but if it's okay for them to come without a minister, it will be okay, because we have nothing to do, but it would be better if they come with a minister. Then, looking at the departments, the 11 departments, most of our departments are interrelated. So listening to one department without connecting to the other may not give you that picture which we want you to appreciate. So my suggestion would be, if it's okay with this committee, Honorable Chair and members, you look at former directorates. Most directorates are not there anymore, but we can say urban development. Then departments under urban development come. Then we say lands. You specifically handle lands in detail.
Honorable Minister, we wanted to do it under your sub-programs, as you listed. On Monday alone, Honorable Minister, you have 3 ministers in the government. I know you will go, but 4. I am requesting on Monday, leave for us the minister in charge of lands. We handle the sub-program on land management, land administration, surveys and mapping, land registration and land valuation. We handle that sub-program.
In cabinet we have rules, I'm sorry to say, and since it's one meeting in a day, cabinet takes precedence over all other meetings. So I don't think they will accept.
Honorable Minister, this we are doing is for the good of your sector. when the members understand the problems of the sector, they articulate these issues on their fingertips. They create more presence of the sector on the floor of Parliament. This in turn becomes the benefit to the sector. Because the more we cover in plenary session, the more members can speak very well about issues that are happening, the more we can work together and make sure we support the sector. What you're proposing, I know you would propose to begin with Tuesday. But I was also looking at covering the entire week so that we finish the entire ministry. Because we will have to sit from Monday up to Friday for us to cover all the departments.
You had also proposed of kind of a retreat to get 2 or 3 days. We set ourselves as committee and ministry, we go through the entire ministry. Like kind of orientation. I don't know if that can work.
Well, a retreat would be ideal, but I don't know how we can get members to sit for 5 days. We let you discuss this with our technical people, and we see, because me, I thought even before we go for that retreat should be generally to discuss strategic approaches, but we have done more of the delving into information. Information is known to members, and when we meet there, we are on equal footing. The technical people are not speaking to, because when we go to a retreat also, it will be more presentation, and then it will take members time to internalize those issues. So we could come here, meet these departments, and then later come for the retreat where we are firing and making resolutions and strategies on how to move forward. But if it is okay with you, Minister, can we start on Tuesday?
Tuesday it's very okay.
We start on Tuesday. Honorable members, I don't want to be a dictator. Do you think it's okay? We start with Tuesday?
It's okay, Mr. Chair.
Chair, we have standing committee meetings.
I am aware, but honorable colleagues, I was imploring you. We still have, that circular came out, yes, but we have been given some time to adjust up to the end of next week. So until next week, we still have that laxity to sit on any day. That is why I wanted us to utilize that 1 week, because the subsequent week, strictly sectoral committees will start sitting on Wednesday, Thursday. That's why I wanted us to go marathon 1 week and exhaust the sector. Then in the subsequent weeks we can have the freedom. Please bear with us, Honorable Minister. And thank you very, very much, Honorable Minister has agreed with us. So we go with Monday. We start with Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Honorable is shaking that, not Friday. Okay, we shall be seeing as we cover. So with that, allow me grant the Honorable Minister only 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes to make a statement. Honorable Minister, you cannot answer all these issues and finish them. They are broad, they are many.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. What I would want to begin with, we have taken note of all the issues raised by members, and I want to promise that we will give you a detailed response to the issues which have been raised today. And there are also some issues where we need more information to add, especially issues where double titling happened, multiple titling happened. If we can have more information, it will enable us to investigate and understand who made the mistake and probably be in position to take action. You asked about whether we take action on officers who commit these anomalies. I would say yes. Many of my officers have been before police, have been before IGG, have been before State House Anti-Corruption, and have been even in courts of law. So normally when we get a complaint, we forward it to those agencies. They investigate. It could be us, or even community members, or even members of parliament. Wherever they are tasked, they go and explain why a certain action was taken, and if they are caught to be on the wrong side, definitely action is taken against those officers. The Vice Chair talked about the 28 titles which never had seals. I would suggest that you give us the names, the block number and the plot number of those titles, so that we task Ginger Emzo to ensure that they withdraw those titles and act accordingly within the law, so that those beneficiaries are protected and they have what we call genuine titles. You asked me about the ad hoc committees. We are trying to develop guidelines that will guide on the operations of those so many players when it comes to land management in the country. Of course, we have held one meeting. And next
do they
week,
report to you?
Yes, and next week we are going to hold another meeting with them, and we believe that by the time we meet, we will be having those guidelines, because we agreed that this uncoordinated troop movement must be tamed and must be managed. And we in the lands, we are the lead. Even if they do what, at the end of the day, they come to us for records. They come to us for the commissioner to confirm whether the records are true. If it's a survey report, they have to get confirmation from us. So there is no way they can say that they are acting independently without supervision of the mother ministry. So we are going to direct them on how to conduct their businesses, and probably when it comes to court, overturning court rules, then that one, we have to take it up probably with the judiciary. Because even me as a minister, I cannot do that. If I need to take any action, I have to write either to the principal judge or to the chief justice to review, even ask him to review and understand the concerns that have been brought before me. So we are going to handle that. Then the MZOs that don't work Mondays and Fridays, I think the PSU had, but we have agreed internally that we need to streamline the operations of the MZOs, but also the staff at the headquarters, to see how we can compel them to be on duty Monday to Friday, and also give us reports, but also be accountable to the communities they serve. Because time and again we receive complaints from Tororo, you can receive complaints from Jinja, Barara, Kabale, that staff are not anywhere, yet government pays them money, and if they fail to adhere to what we are going to put in place, then we shall write to civil service, because we don't think they can expect to be indispensable. We shall write to public service to take action, but we are going to give them room to set guidelines and rules for them to be in position to handle. You talked about customary land.
Okay, Honorable, just information. For example, for Ginger Emzo, which covers my area, the RT is always in a meeting on Monday. There is a scheduled meeting, a compulsory scheduled meeting at the administrative quarters every Monday. It's only the RT who is never in office on Mondays.
Normally they're online. Normally they're online.
So why does he or she die in normally, they are more than one staff handling a matter. If they are registrars, you could find like there are 2 or 3. So we don't expect all of them to be attending on that very day. If 2 attend a meeting, then 1 must remain to attend to the concerns of the public. I think Baker and PS, you will need to guide them accordingly so that we reduce on the complaints that come from members. Double titling and multiple titling, it has been around with us and we cannot deny that it is work in progress. For that, I can testify. And that's why His Excellency, the President, guided us to see if we can embrace the blockchain technology and artificial intelligence. Because we believe that if we go for that technology, it will be tight. It will be tight, and we believe that we shall have a register which is secure, but also acceptable by the users. Because with blockchain, from what I have read, it is very difficult to delete. And even if I delete, it will show that Nabakuba deleted on such and such a day. The system we have currently, it cannot show who removes what and who puts that back. So it is very difficult. People come, delete, remove, very difficult to tell. But we believe that if we fully go for blockchain and we allow it to operate like it has operated elsewhere, then we shall have dealt with double titling and multiple titles. Protected areas, we are cancelling titles in most of our forest reserves and wetlands. But of course, along the way, we get courts stopping us to do whatever we are trying to do. Then we are taken to...
More inquiry from Minister.
I'm almost cutting the minister short.
Allow me, just one.
Okay, 1 minute, but the minister has 2, so she has to agree.
Yes.
Will she surrender 1?
Okay, a quarter a minute. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Okay. Honorable Minister, where your staff have confessed and put it in writing that the title was issued in error and it is stamped through your staff and the title is not cancelled. Now, where should we put the blame?
Can you, I would request that you
I have the papers here. Okay, thank you very much.
I'll be in position to give you an update after looking at the reports that were made earlier on. And I would also contact Uganda Land Commission to get solutions. Honorable members, there are so many things we have talked about. And I feel that the 2 minutes, Chair, you are giving me, I may not exhaustively respond to these issues because I'm looking at my notes. I realize that I have like 2 more pages to respond to, so I don't know what happens in that
What I can also propose is the written responses to some of those questions. Written responses to some of those questions can help us a great deal.
So do we go by written responses because they...
Minister, through you, Chair,
because they are...
You can summarize.
Honorable colleagues. Want me to summarize because I'll tell you that this we are handling, like I've told you, double titling, we are handling. MZOs, we are cleaning. Somebody asked about the digitization and spatial capabilities, but we still have, that one I've already answered, believing that if we go on blockchain, we will go a long way to clean our system, but also our register. Then you asked about the districts with land conflicts. Public hearings are made, and you realize when public hearings are made, people don't have access to justice. The women, the youth. For us, what we do, we give all parties concerned what we call fair hearing. They are called by the Commissioner of Land Registration, all our registrars in the MZOs. They are all attended to, and a report will be written to that effect. Then you asked me about land acquisition format. Land acquisition format is done by the CGV. Can you summarize it in a minute?
Honorable Minister, it's 1:30. It's 1:30. Members have to compete for space in the chambers. Members have to have lunch. Yes, that is the fact on ground. What I would request,
Then the
if members would agree.
Conflicts we are handling, the boundary issues Honorable Stella asked about, we are handling and we are meeting the Prime Minister. We were tasked to make a cabinet memo putting even the cost, because the conflicts are so many. So once we are done with that and cabinet approves, then we will begin on handling some of those issues.
Honourable members, look at this. What if the minister left with these questions noted now, such that as we finalize the interaction with the departments, the minister comes with the responses on these questions that we have raised. We give her time and she explains, takes us through, because now she will just rush through and will not give you the information that you really need. Please, I implore you.
We should not delay again, Mr. Chair.
Yes. One thing I know about the Honourable here, I told you she's the most humble. If she apologized, she cannot do it again. That one thing I know.
Chair, it's lunchtime, you have noted. And it's lunchtime now.
Yeah, it's lunchtime. That's why I really want to ask members. We agree, Honourable Minister, I apologize for cutting you short. But we started on a wrong note. We were late. I hope next time we shall do better. I know this, the important people. So thank you very much, the Honourable Minister. Thank you very much, Honourable Margaret Muhanga. Thank you very much, our technical people. Thank you very much, Honourable colleagues, for coming and attending, our technical people. Thank you very much. Allow me adjourn this house, this committee meeting to Tuesday, and on Tuesday we shall start with the land management. Then subsequently we shall go to the fiscal planning. And what is the other sub-program? Housing. So we shall follow that order. Please, honourable members, do we need to stay a little bit behind anything? But we are also late. So let's meet on Tuesday. Thank you very much. The committee is adjourned to Tuesday.